Welcome back to PGL Spring Tavern Tales. We are here in Bucharest. We're ready, almost ready for the semifinals. I'm sitting here in the chill out zone with Raven and Gara. How are you doing, guys? Gara, I have a question for you. Did you survive the crash with the glass wall?
Which crash?
Oh, okay, okay. I guess you didn't see anything, right? You didn't see it coming.
Yeah,
Ha!
there wasn't a crash.
Nice.
Okay.
Silly Lothar.
Well, what can you say me about the tournament? What can you tell me about the tournament?
Actually, I just looked at the semifinals. It's actually like the Sith versus the Jedi. We have like two Smorg players and two control players on the one side, and there will be like a Smorg player in the finals and a control player, like the Face Hunter 3-0 versus
Mhm.
the Smorg Shaman.
Okay.
That went like 2-0 in the end, and we have like Powder versus
MooDy.
MooDy. So that's kind of cool.
Okay, and they will face each other in the final.
Yeah, it's like
Right.
good versus evil, right? It's like
Who's
the,
who? Who's who? Are we just going with
The
Smog
control
is
decks
evil?
are yeah,
Oh, okay.
they're evil. Everyone hates them. It's like
Okay.
everyone
By the way,
hates them.
you can see your Temple Storm logo. You have to zip it up, you know?
Thanks for telling me, Lothar.
Okay. I'm sure you got a discount code for code for that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
you always get like a 3% extra fabric once you get one of those every time. Every time, it's great.
Cool. Cool to be part of the family, all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I supposed to like tell some stories here? Or
No,
something?
no,
It's
no.
probably
It's-
best not.
It's like
Anyway, Raven, how are you doing? You went on a break, but it didn't last long, right?
Yeah, it seems to be the theme. Whenever I'm not casting, the matches are always really fast. It happened yesterday with the 3-0 with the Shaman deck.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's just the way, but that's fine by me. Means I get to cast quicker, so that's
Okay.
all good. I'm looking forward to this match though. I'm friends with Powder, and I think he's been playing really well. Apart from, I was talking to him after his last match versus Tice, where
He was still asleep, right? It was
So
11
at the
a.m.
start, he was like, "Yeah, I just messed up," when he ran the juggler in without
Mhm.
playing the minions. So that's fair enough. But I think he seems pretty confident. And I'm also we saw Tessin earlier on the couch casting, and because he knows MooDy quite well, and he's saying he likes to employ this tactic of playing quite slowly and trying to frustrate his opponent. But I wonder how good that tactic's going to be when everyone knows that's his tactic. So I'm pretty sure Powder's going to just be like, "It's fine. Like I can take my time."
Okay, and I have to interrupt you because we will have an interview with the players right now. So please, Diana, take it away.
Thank you so much, guys. Well, after 3 days of Hangman and playing translator for a little bit, I'm finally here at the professionals table, and I could not be happier. So, Powder and MooDy. Are you ready for the semifinal?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty ready. I'm excited to play, so.
And you caused one of the biggest upsets in this tournament, arguably one of the biggest upsets, and now you're just one match away from the grand final. Tell me, do you think that MooDy is going to present a real challenge for you on that way to the real final?
Nah. Easy 3-0.
How do you feel about that?
I think it will be a very long 3-2.
Okay, well, more men making promises. Now, MooDy, you are in the semifinal and you're here on your home turf in Romania, but we've just had a very dramatic match from another Romanian. Did you watch that match and what did you think about it?
I did watch that match. I have no particular impression. I just want to focus on my match, and I will do my best in the final if I have to meet him.
Okay, Powder. Now, we talked a little bit in our recorded interview about open versus invitational tournaments. How do you think these events compare? Like, you had a lot of people here, some newcomers, some upsets. Overall, how do you feel that you've evolved in this event, and what would people take from it to describe Powder? Do you think you've been consistent? Do you think you've been shocking in some manner?
I don't know if I've evolved, but for all of us that are here in the semifinals or even top 16, we've won so many games from the original qualifier to the Swiss, and I mean, it is a lot of consistency, and when you win that many games, I mean, you can always take away that, for at least you hope that the people at home think you're actually a decent player, so. I don't know.
Okay, you are a decent player. You're also very salty, but that's not for me to judge. So now I'm just going to ask production to take it away.
Okay, we're back. So
My arm still hurts from that burn.
I got burned by Nimsh when you were away,
Oh.
so they're getting quite consistent with the burns.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
coming to the end of the event and everyone's just getting very aggressive.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. It's
So-
like,
Someone is not a powder fan.
well, it's MooDy is on his home turf, right? So he's playing for Romania audience, and we'll see how that go. But we can talk now about how the players were doing in their previous matches, right? We have seen MooDy mostly with his Zoo deck, right, which is excelling at board control, but he was kind of too consistent with trading instead of being the aggressor, right? Because when you're playing Zoo,
Yeah.
you have to switch the gear at some point, right?
Yeah.
What do you think, Gara, about that?
For me, not just that is interesting. Also, like when we interviewed Johnny Druid earlier, he
Mhm.
said he didn't just prepare for like against Scruffy, he also prepared decks for the finals. I really wonder like who mixed it up now at this point. Like who thought ahead the most. Like, is someone gonna surprise us with like some special new innovation? Like Powder, when he played against Thais, he brought like Malgani's Voidcaller Reno deck. He had like 3 different versions of Reno lock during this tournament. It's like insane, and he won like against Control Warrior, and when he played a combo deck he was like super unfavored, so he changed up a lot. So this is what like personally me, yes, as you said, like those trading decisions with the aggro decks, but maybe they just realized, oh, maybe I'm not so good with that, so I'm gonna swap to Reno.
Yeah, that can happen.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are locked into the decks they've picked for today, so they can't change after any of the matches we've already
Yes.
seen. But I completely agree. I feel like MooDy was playing very safe, and sometimes that can be too safe and not actually close out the game. And, Powder's a experienced and good enough player to kind of cash in on that, actually,
Yeah.
and just take advantage. Whereas I think Powder's got to be feeling pretty confident. I'm not surprised. He was happy. I think he's confident about this matchup because he just beat Tice. Right, he just beat Tice to get this spot. So if he can, his idea will be if he can take down Tice, and he can take down anyone at this tournament.
Yeah, people in front of the TV, that's TV as in PC.
Yeah.
There might be having this this image of Powder being kind of cocky, like with his banter and stuff. But he is very self-aware and polite, and when we talk about with him behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
He knows that when he was playing against Thais, his crucial top deck on turn 6 in the game 1 between Zoo and Paladin was actually game breaking for the whole match, right? And he is not like it's very important for a player to be self-aware, to know where you made a misplay, when you should have been playing better, and to when to improve, right? And I know that Powder is one of the players which has that quality, and it's very important to know where should you learn and from what you should learn. Right?
Yeah, you see a lot of players that actually, as soon as their game's over, they'll go back to the replay, whether they won or lost, and just go over the match and work out what they could have done better. Was there anything they could have changed or even altered about their overall lineup there? So, it's a really good quality to have. I agree.
Yeah.
Also, like another thing to mention is like he recently joined SK, and all the SK players are doing like so much better now. Like over the time, they're all practicing together, like scouting other people and preparing together, and like 2 players from SK also qualified from Bucharest. Is like the only team where 2 players qualified from, and both came pretty far. Like Freaky also got into top 16, and it's no big surprise actually that Powder.
That's a good point, because
also-
people kind of undermine teams in general in Hearthstone, right?
Yeah, like it's behind the scenes, like the preparation. Like nobody sees how much practice and preparation goes into a tournament. Like how much people prepare, and then you also like the people that help you prepare don't get like any credit when someone does very well in a
Or
tournament.
really rarely, right?
Yeah, very rarely. And so it's nice to point it out like from time to time.
Well, I saw that your tweet about you seeking out for a practice partner, right?
You wanna? Is that like?
We can
is
advertise
like
an offer?
Is that like an offer?
No, I just wanted to advertise, like a matrimonial offer here on
me?
screen.
It's like when you have time, or you like you wanna join.
Yeah. Well, but look at that. We're already starting the semi-final. First semi-final of PGL Spring Tavern Tales between MooDy and Powder.
Yeah, and this match is actually becoming a sort of almost a staple matchup in this tournament of the
Not
what
ju-
looks to be Zulok versus Secret
yeah,
Paladin.
not just this tournament. It feels like it's like 2016.
the staple matchup of Hearthstone, full
Yeah.
stop. And yeah, what do you think about the two hands here, Gary?
They're looking really. I don't like it. This is like a very tough decision actually. When you have the egg and the Haunter Creeper, it's like two drops. Like when you keep both, like it's kind of clunky. You don't expect to have a 1-drop if you keep both, and you don't have an activator for the egg. Like how do you play this hand out?
Yeah.
So he's actually deciding to just keep one, and I really like this that decision.
Would you have kept the egg over the creeper? Or
It's like when you keep the egg, I think. Yeah, when you keep the egg, you just keep the egg. I think keeping both is fine. It's like you don't have an activator. Like keeping the Haunter Creeper is obviously safer. Like keeping the egg is a little greedy. You can just not get any
Yeah.
activator.
And he's actually joined to Dark Peddler though as well, so that's definitely one of the cards that can create him an activator in terms of Abusive Sergeant or the Power Overwhelming, are like the two standard ones.
When you think about it, there's so much cards that can activate the egg, right?
Yeah.
So many cards that can activate the egg. So getting the Abusive Surgeon from the top of the deck, getting the PO, and then Dark Peddle creating one of those is still a factor, right? So maybe he values the egg so much that just getting the activator might just win him the game.
It's like that matchup. Like Paladin is probably like the only deck that can. Usually Paladin doesn't run out, and then you know it's like the only deck that cannot own me with a silence.
Yeah, like an Innervate Keeper.
Yeah.
Thank you. now my egg is like useless. Well, now it's a different situation. You either play the egg now, you can bluff your opponent that you have an activator, right? And then go into a 10 free drop with Dark Peddler into a minion or an activator for the egg, right?
Yeah.
Or you can go into the Dark Peddler route to see what is your discovery and then change your tactic for 10 free if it's necessary, right? Because it might be a 1-drop into tap if you don't get any activator for the egg, an example.
Yeah, but you have to play the egg because like the Peddler is sort of a free drop as well. So that would be like really awkward curve.
And the thing is as well, the Peddler just straight up dies to the mini-bot, whereas although you still have to deal with the Divine Shield later, like you're just playing a minion and like you can get a 1-drop, but then if you just play egg where you can't activate in that same turn anyway. So
But it's really bad to play it like instantly when you play Zoo, then your opponent knows like that was my only play, right?
Yeah.
When you just drop it instantly.
Or you're just so good with the zoo, you know what's the best play every single turn.
It's like
instantly,
Dog.
right?
Dog plays always fast. Like even if he has like complicated things, it's just zap.
But it was important to play the egg now, because that prevented the Knife Juggler from being dropped down to the board, right? Because you can't really play Knife Juggler into an egg. If that's an Abusive Sergeant, what do you do?
yeah, without getting any sort of instant value at least, there's really no point.
Exactly.
And now the choice here for MooDy is actually going to be whether he goes Creeper and like sort of floats the 1 mana, or whether he goes Peddler into a 1-drop. I don't mind either one, to be honest, but I think like the Peddler's just nice because you can fill out the curve.
If it's Voidwalker, it's not even that bad.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a Voidwalker.
Speaking of Voidwalker.
But yeah, the thing is, if you would have gotten like here a PO, you don't really want to use it this turn. Like you don't want to PO into the Divine Shield.
Then you take a minion instead of the PO.
Yeah, but that will also feel bad, man. It's like the only activation.
But you have for 10-4, you need to play the Implosion, right? You know that your opponent didn't play any Consecration.
I like as well not. It's like a Knife Juggler protection, right? To not proc the egg. It's like
it's true. Well, now the Masterful Battle might... Actually, it's not that good when I think about it. Just better probably to play the Knife Juggler with Avenge.
Yeah.
To just kind of bluff your opponent.
And the thing is as well, if you look at the potential Avenge targets, like the Knife Juggler is probably going to get killed just because it's the highest threat. But then if Avenge goes on the Divine Shield and Minibot, then things start getting a little bit awkward.
I really like games like these where both players draw well, you know? Where the decision matters. Usually when two aggro decks play against each other, like early game decks, then one guy just has like the nuts and the other guy just draws poorly. But here both players have like, even with especially if the Malganis draw like insane hands.
Do you still go for the Implosion
now
here?
you
Or
change.
do you,
Now you change your mind.
I was like, I know Implosion's good, but...
I like how Lotus said, you will play turn 4 Implosion for sure.
There was no
100%.
demon. There was no demon in this thing, right? So,
Of course you played it.
but if that
Don't go
instead
changing your mind now, Lothar.
if that would be a Doomguard instead of the Malganis, then you would change your mind to play the Voidwalker, right? It all depends what is currently in the hand and on the board, because Implosion after Massive Battle looks worse, right? Because your opponent, not because your opponent has multiple 1/1s, just because your opponent has the Light's Justice.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, 4 mana Death Rattle summon Mal'Ganis sounds like a good card.
Yeah, you have like 2.5 Innervator. I like to judge cards by saying how many Innervates they have. You know?
It's definitely a good way. I'm guessing you're really good at the quick Emperor maths then.
Yeah. It's not really that hard.
No. So actually, this is a pretty big pickup. The Keeper of Uldaman's huge. It's whether Powder's going to choose to make that play and know he can at least reduce down whatever minion comes out. So whether it be a Doomguard or the Mal'Ganis. But Keeper of Uldaman is definitely a good answer.
That's sick.
He could choose to ignore it, but even like the Knife Juggler into like Avenge or Knife Juggler Hero Power, I don't think does quite enough.
Yeah, those two minions from the Warlock are like the two worst minions to actually like trade in and clear. You always want to clear the board from the zoo, but Void Caller and Egg are like really the two exceptions. Smork is the play.
Yeah, this is really interesting. He decided to just go really aggressive. He has the follow-up of Sludge Belcher and or Lotheb. So either one on turn 5 if he wants to, or even Juggler Hero Power and Avenge to keep the board stacked up.
Yeah, that was like a really risky play, right?
Yes, that was a really risky play, but now look at that. What do you think about Flame Imp, attack into the 3/3 with your Void Color, Implosion your own Void Color? Because you just saw one Keeper of Uldaman. You get a full board, Mal'Ganis is out, you kill one of the 3/3s on the board of your opponent, and you gain like 2 to 4 minions that will be 3/3, and your Flame Imp will be...
I don't like that. Yeah, as you said, like what really speaks for that play is that he just saw the Keeper.
Yeah.
It's like Keeper is the answer for the Mal'Ganis, and he just saw it.
And also, although all the damage is there to kill Mal'Ganis regardless, I think, it requires weapon, right? So there's like, with all that, there's additional 9 damage plus all the imps.
One thing that I didn't like about the Implosion being played like in this fashion is the fact that if you go for a free damage from the Implosion and you have a minion already on board that doesn't die from the trade, you should pick the risky situation when you go for the kill with the Implosion with 4, right? Because then you have a good situation anyway, and if your opponent trades with the Void Collar because it's on 1 HP, then he gets wrecked by the free imps, right?
Yeah.
And now you're not banking on that Mal'Ganis value.
Yeah, because now Mal'Ganis is really just a 9/7 immune,
It's like,
right? After the Void Collar's out.
God.
Oh.
No, never mind.
Never mind.
Never
wow,
punished.
That's like such a good draw.
Yeah,
man.
that's actually just insane.
Let's take a moment and just appreciate this draw, man. That was the nuts.
Wow.
Like
I don't know what to say. It's like the whole game it will be turned around just by the second Implosion right now.
Yeah, and you run the Void Collar in first, right?
Yes.
that's the uber nuts.
I suppose it doesn't matter because the Void Collar dies, and then it replaces itself with Mal'Ganis. Mal'Ganis won't like not come out because the board's full, right?
Well, doesn't matter. No, it doesn't. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
What do you do? And Powder shaking his hand, saying to his Keeper of Uldaman, "Get over here!" Back to the hand, right?
If only. If only.
He needs a panda. Oh, Shadow Step.
He needs a Shadow Step in that Paladin.
I think the tapping was there not too bad, right? You don't take damage, and Creeper just like fills up your board even more. You cannot play anything in next turn. You have the boom.
Agree.
And I mean, you get it for free, right? And like having a PO now would be really sweet.
I agree here. But tapping probably would
Or
have been
Argus,
better.
like you need like Argus would be like game winning. Like
Completely agree.
This is kind of terrible.
Oh,
though.
that's-
there's not even really. I mean, what does he have to get perfect juggles for this?
that's like a Bible thumb play right there.
Well, at least he almost killed the imp, right?
Those were good, nice, man.
He can kill him.
That's like best
Oh my
case.
god.
He tried to kill the Mal'Ganis. Like what was the actual chance, man? 3 pings into the Mal'Ganis.
Very, very small is my maths on the,
That's-
on the
that's-
chance of that. I'm not trying to work out percentages there.
So if you get a Doomguard now from the top of the deck, do you favor Doomguard instead of Dr. Boom?
Yes.
Well, it has 7/9 stats instead of 5/7.
And it can
right?
charge, and you don't care about the boom bots at the moment because you've got all the imps.
But it's turn 7 Dr. Boom, man. You don't.
Oh, PO! That would have been already in hand.
I would
It
just.
wouldn't change a thing. Okay, never mind.
I would just.
It would change nothing.
I would just. say, well done, imps, you did a good job, and
now wreck
Suicide
those
them?
people.
yeah, suicide those imps and play the Doctor Swag and win the game. Sounds like a good idea to me.
It's
Winning the
turn
game is
7.
normally the correct play, yeah.
You have 7 mana and 1 card in hand.
Well, 2.
2, but
But the other one is insignificant.
yeah,
for
it's
now.
one card in hand, as I said.
Huh.
Oh,
Sick juggle.
Juggles.
What were the odds on that juggle killing him?
Well, that was like 1 to 7. That was interesting. Well, you still gain 3 minions on the board, so and 9 damage to the face.
I like the way you're trying to justify this in a negative
Yeah,
way.
it's
Like,
like-
well, you still gain Dr. Boom as well as Mal'Ganis still being on the board.
I
and
just
Egg,
don't see any way out of
Yeah,
this.
you don't want to jinx it, right? But
Yeah.
that is pretty over. But what I really like about it, like he had a decision, like he decided to play the Keeper of Ulduman, right, for Smork, even though he
Mhm.
saw the Void Caller, and
Yeah,
that was basically
yeah, yeah.
game losing.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by that fact, because usually when I see Powder's games, he's like very aggressive, but he knows when to switch, right? When to
Yep.
switch, when to have that fail-safe card. In this case, Keeper of Ulduman, because you know that your opponent is playing Mal'Ganis, is playing double Doom cards, and if he gets a Doom card from the Void Core, it doesn't look good anyway. Like
Yeah.
that's a 5/7 minion.
Yeah.
So smoking with Paladin when your opponent can take the initiative back by just playing a huge minion that will trade with your Keeper of Ulduman and will not die.
Also, here we can see, like, it was also too early in the game. The opponent is at 27 life.
Yeah.
Like
if you put him
that's-
to like 10 or something,
Yeah.
then like, yeah.
You're not Hunter that can do that.
Yeah, and
Because Hunter excels
Yeah,
at
not
with
even
hero
Hunter.
power, right?
And he has no kings in hand, no True Silver Champion in hand.
He was clearly expecting the Flame Imp out of the Void Caller.
Or
to-
Gang Boss.
Yeah, to be safe.
Okay.
But that was
justified.
yeah.
Overruled.
Everyone was wrong. Yeah, that was definitely rough. It seems like a really strange decision, as you said, Gara, because it wasn't pushing anything close to lethal the next turn, and yeah, just being able to actually just lock down any minion that came out after that was really strange to miss that opportunity.
1-0 for MooDy right now. Powder has its Secret Paladin eliminated! And he needs to win with his Reno Warlock Demon Lock version, right? That's the one.
Demon Reno.
Demon Reno Jackson Warlock. Or on his back of his Patron Warrior, right?
Yep.
Those 2 decks are being left for him. So
Or he changed. Because he
no,
changed
no,
some
no,
of-
no, no. You know, you can't change for the last
Oh.
day. Like you play with the whole lineup the whole day.
Okay.
So
that's
if you-
that's fair.
yeah, because you know,
Yeah.
makes sense, right? Say
sort
yes.
of.
Say yes.
Just agree.
I agree.
See?
Lothar, I agree.
It works.
So what deck do you think he's going to lock in next? The Demon Reno or the Patron Warrior?
For sure, Reno, right?
Yes,
Ah.
by looks things.
I think that the Patron is like way closer to like a 50-50 than actually Reno Lock. Reno Lock
Because
is
you
actually
rely on the
favorite.
weapons, right? And when you play Reno Jackson Warlock, you have Hellfire, Shadow Flame, Demon Wrath helping too,
Yeah.
and
Moltens.
Even Twisted Nether.
Moltens.
yeah,
And
that's still a threat. And you have minions too. You have
Yeah.
Zombie Child,
And a lot
you
of
have
heal.
Gang Boss.
Mhm.
You have no, that was a Farseer, right?
There's no Farseer, but there's Healbot and Reno Jackson.
Wait, is there a Farseer?
Nope.
Who was playing Farseer? Oh, that was last game.
Yep.
Never mind. That was Arnie. Yeah.
Yeah, but on looking on Moody's side, he's got a pretty okay opening himself. Like Double Imp Gang Boss, like not the most like impactful card against Reno Lock, but definitely just a good curve overall.
What a draw from Powder.
then playing like Reno and going first and having the zombie chow. That's like the greatest feeling in the world.
Of course, that's like perfect scenario too. But what I like about having Reno Jackson in the opening hand is that you know, okay, I can be aggressive with my life
Yep.
total. I don't have to be worried about being overextending with spells because I have the reset button, right? And I can just play it on turn 6 and say, do it again, bro.
Yeah, and even the Implosion pickup now for that first draw is really nice. It's just going to help battle the board a little bit versus the Zoo.
So now we'll see that MooDy will pick the left Immigrant Boss for like half a second, think about it, to play it on turn 1.
And then Powder just lean over and go, I know what you do, mate, it's fine.
Yeah. And yes, of course, he's picking up the coin. Ah, see?
Lothar, you know this strategy.
I know
This
the
would not
bluff,
work
man.
against you, clearly.
Yeah, This is not those are not the droids you're looking for. Demons, sorry.
So feeding a 2-drop into the zombie chow or a 1-drop, that's a tough decision right there.
This is not even like he knows what he's doing straight. Oh. So I was about to stop in a bit of shock then if he was going to coin out the.
Okay, so what are the
juggler.
options when you play Zoo? If you see a zombie chow, there's nothing else apart from the flame that you want to play into
Yeah,
it, right? There's nothing
I
else.
think this is actually pretty useless, but because
You can't bluff this situation.
yeah, because there's no 2-drop you would play into a zombie chow.
Only in the egg, and you would
Yeah.
not play a flame imp if you have an egg in hand, because you always play the egg if that situation
Yeah.
occurs, right?
And you would
Yeah,
still need like PO, right?
Yeah, you
as
don't want
well,
to PO
so-
a zombie chow as well.
Yeah, that's it. For the egg to actually do anything versus the chow, you'd still even need the power of overwhelming. So, just loses the flame imp. The zombie chow does not the most amount of work I've seen a zombie chow do, but locking out the flame imp early on is pretty good.
Suddenly the sand got terrific.
He will
so
top
much
deck a
damage.
he will top deck a void color next time.
So much damage, man.
Do you think the Zoo's hand's better than Powder's at the moment?
No, it sucks.
No,
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna
horrible.
I was gonna say
But one white color changes the game.
that's true.
Yes. It's like with Druid, right? It's like when Amnesia is streaming, like when you have all the 5-drops in starting hand, no wild growth innovate. As soon as you draw innovate, the hand is great.
Yeah, because then you can curve out,
Yeah.
right? And you even have an Azure Drake to get the living roots
No.
to not float a mana
Yeah.
at some point, right?
It's the same scenario. Right now the hand is horrible, but as soon as he draws a white color on 4, it's perfect.
Or even on 3,
Yeah.
because you can just drop the void color. You know that your opponent is not keen on popping them, right?
Yeah.
Because we have seen that procedure last
Yeah,
game.
that's just happened.
can-
Yeah.
You can see that from your opponent that he usually doesn't want to pop the void color, so he will probably not pop it again and just let it be.
Yeah.
Right? Especially when you play a deck when you can have a silence and you can have some form of mind control tech.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a way of taking the advantage of the void color not being popped. I like that, by the way.
Yeah, it's something I was actually discussing with Powder before the game, and it just randomly came up about what was in his deck, and he was like, yeah, Brand's good because sometimes you can get the crazy combos off, but also sometimes on 3 versus an aggressive deck, it's also pretty good.
It just soaks the damage.
Yeah, it
because
just does the job.
when your opponent thinks about what can happen after someone has a Bran on board, it's like, well, I don't want to give him a full value defend of Argus.
Also, like if you really paid close attention, I think MooDy kept like all cards, and he just coined out one of the cards he kept, like a free drop. And what would he play like afterwards if he coins out a gang boss? It's very likely it's like another gang boss. So the brand would survive. It's like a very good chance that the brand here survives and not just gets traded by the MP's decision.
Because there's no way you can now play a Palta Shredder, which is the mortal enemy of Bran, right? Multiple Imp Gang bosses.
He could know MC tech.
Yeah.
No, not really, because Bran dies.
He'd lose Bran, but he could
but
steal a gang boss.
Yeah, it's like 50-50 on a 2-2 gang boss. Is it worth it? Or
No, I don't think it's worth it.
It kind of sucks.
Is there any reason to trade in Hellfire here? Just for
I
the 2
think you just
tokens?
play Defend of Argus and
Yeah.
kill the 2/4 minion.
It kind of feels a little bad, man, but it's okay.
But you build board
Yeah,
presence.
It's
It's like a Huntmaster when you think about it. Kinda.
with a twist.
Yes.
Unmaster with a twist. It's like
Naru Master.
poor man's Houndmaster.
Imagine if there would be a Huntmaster for demons.
No. That would be scary.
I don't want to imagine that. There might be with the expansion because like white color will be gone and stuff like that. So
Oh right, what color would be
so
gone?
you might need Houndmaster for demons. Like you're joking here about it, and the next expansion, oh, like Blizzard is watching
Demon
like,
Master.
"Damn, that's,
Like,
a,
oh,
that's,
okay.
a good, that's a good idea, man.
And next week I get a royalty check.
Every time the card is played.
Yep.
Gotta take notes, man.
I'm sure that Dota is paying attention right now because they like to crowdfund salaries for casters and hosters. And hosts, sorry. That's another way,
Okay.
you know? That's another
Yeah,
way
yeah,
to do
yeah.
that.
I was wondering where you were going to go with that, Joe.
That's not a good MC Tech board.
No, it's not.
Except you're a really good MC Tech player.
But you have an implosion, which
Do you
looks
get the
nice.
juggle if you steal the juggler? Probably, right?
Yes, you do.
That's good. That's a good play. You steal the juggler and juggler an imp down.
Well,
And
but
the-
why would you go for the 25%
Well,
when you have
what?
implosion for 100%?
I don't know though, because
It's
the thing is,
100%.
if you miss, you can still dart bomb the juggler, right?
Yeah, you always steal the juggler, right?
See, I would have preferred holding on to dart bomb there, because then you keep hold the board and we leave 2 tokens.
Why are you talking about Dark Bomb? I'm just talking about implosion.
Yeah, implosion would be the best play there for sure. I agree.
No, I think you risk
No,
it.
no,
you
I
risk
agree.
the juggler.
Like after seeing the imp steal, that was a terrible
Oh my
play.
God.
That was a terrible play. Why don't you implosion for 4 instead?
Even for 2 is better. You kill still one of the imps and you have...
4 is
never
better,
mind.
man. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Don't want to be behind on board. Oh man, this hand is like... Ugh. You want to give up on la life right now.
Well, Defensive Alga is not that horrible. You can kill your opponent's imp, which was your imp, so it's a traitor! Give me the stick! Kill it. Do you get the Star Wars reference?
No,
Ah, you didn't see the new Star Wars?
no.
Oh my god.
Are you spoiling right now?
No spoilers.
Are you like the worst caster of the Euro?
Well, that went from were you spoiling this to just an insult.
Whoa, okay. Do you like that? Being aggressive when you usually trade in
Dude,
such situations?
His hand is kind of aggressive, right? In a sense. Like, this is basically... Man, he's in such a bad spot. I don't even know. Like, at this point, you should be finishing the game in the next 2 turns against Reno Lock. And he's behind on board, where he
And
was.
this Molten Reno, Molten
Yeah,
Healbot,
the-
like whatever he wants.
Nothing is gone. Like, yeah, the opponent hasn't used any of those, like, key cards.
Still got Hellfire, worst
Yeah,
case scenario.
Hellfire,
like,
Shadow, Flame, Healbot, Reno, Molt, everything is still in the deck, and he's behind on board. And the opponent has 19 life. That's, like, so bad. Like,
And
I
then-
wouldn't even know.
and then even now, like you start to think, is like tap egg even like remotely worth it? Do you just have to play a Doom Guard to put some Thunderboard and put some
Yeah.
pressure on? Like, and then if you do play the Doom Guard,
Then you have to be...
you, so on. Yeah.
In some matchups, it's actually right to just slam down the Doom Guard. It's like against Rogue and Freeze Mage, oftentimes.
But I think with this hand in this
Yeah,
position, like you don't
of
really have
course.
much choice. Like egg does nothing here.
But if he discards the Dr. Boom, he's like
Yeah.
even worse.
I just lost. Imagine if he plays the Doom Guard and loses the second Doom Guard and the Doctor Boom.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like...
He has to.
So
guess I-
negative.
I guess I
Lothar.
lose.
So negative.
Nice.
You throw any 2 cards that aren't those 2 cards, and then you win. It's
If
fine.
he would have gotten a Void Caller there, that would be decent, right? It's like not horrible.
How much value does the Void Color hold? A lot, I would say.
A lot,
It's
man.
like a bank.
Unlimited.
It's the best card
value.
in the game in theory, right? On paper, Void Caller if you have the right cards in hand. Like nothing has more value than a freaking Void Caller.
Well, I would say, I would argue that if you count the factor of having cards in your hand, then Mad Scientist is better because you have it in your deck. So there's...
Yeah, but what you get into play is like so much better.
Yeah, of course.
If you transition everything into mana, then what
into innovates. Let's stick to one currency.
innovate, then that's just there's so many innovates. Oh, so many good choices.
Yeah, just going with the most straightforward one there. You just drop Emperor, get all your good cards even cheaper. Even a 1 mana owl is actually pretty important if it comes to it, because it's just even easier to squeeze into the Reno Lux curve.
And he has the deadliest Reno combo in hand that exists, the Molten Giant Reno. It's like just breaks. just
and
breaks
a
decks.
Sun Fury Protector on top.
It just breaks decks, man.
Feels bad, man. My deck is broken. And it's like in half.
And he drew a lower tip. Hey, this is just so sad.
I like how you use the A. It's so German.
Yeah.
See?
This is so sad. Like he has to play Doomguard on 7 to kill a Emperor that already got value. It's so sad.
It is turn 7.
I think you
Boom's
just
active, though.
ignore the Emperor and just play Dr. Boom.
Yeah, against Renlock, that sounds like a great idea.
But what? How do you want to win the game otherwise?
I don't know, man. I'm not optimistic anymore. I cannot see it. I cannot see it. I hope it, like, what are the worst 6 cards you could have?
Mortal Coil?
Some, yeah, and he can only have one of them. Like one Mortal Coil, one Twisting Nether, because he's behind on board.
Yeah, this is really rough. When you get this far into a game versus Reno Lock and they've not played any heals yet,
Yeah.
you know, you just
But also
really
bot
start
clears.
to think.
Every
Yeah,
bot
yeah.
clears.
They've not played anything yet.
Yeah.
They've literally just played Emperor and a couple of cards that don't matter anymore.
Every taunt is left except the Argus. Every bot clear is left.
Yeah.
Every heal is left.
He's
every-
going to trade away the whole board here.
I feel like he only used the
Hellfire?
brand.
He just played Brannies in this position in the game. That was it.
This kind of play actually tells you, okay, I have Reno Jackson already in hand. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll take the damage, yeah. Go.
Oh,
And he can just slam Mullen.
well, that
Whoa.
sounds perfect.
And heal bot.
That
Oh,
sounds
Reno's reduced. Never mind. I forgot Reno was on 5.
It's like,
Yeah.
never
Oh my
mind,
God.
heal bot. I have this guy.
It sounds better. Plus 20 sounds better than plus 8.
The value, man. How much mana is that?
My god, how many interfaces is that?
That's a lot. Like 20 heal, like that's a lot.
Okay, so Healing Touch
Healing
is
touch, yeah.
1.5 innovate, right?
Please, can we
Yeah.
not turn this into a Hearthstone like currency discussion of innovates?
So it's 3.5 innovate.
That sounds like a lot of innovates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that's just game.
That's
Yeah,
Well,
Lothar wouldn't have done anything. There was a lot of damage on board, and the
You can say that Reno Jackson pooped on the board and your opponent got away. Just fled the game.
I mean that happens a lot when you play against some aggro decks, right? If you can actually just play Reno and not be dead the next turn, then it's you can just win because the aggro normally just runs out of damage, and even 2 Doom Guards there wasn't enough.
Mhm.
And there's the guy who beat you in the show
Oh
match.
my god!
He's back.
And he
destroyed you.
he denied the handshake too. After the game, before the game we handshaked, but then he was like,
BM.
he
He's
was
too good for you.
silent the whole game. I don't get it.
It's scary though, isn't it? Just those eyes staring over you. Yeah,
He-
there you go. That was a really good impression.
He humiliated you. Like he even like threw one game with divine
And
favor.
still won.
I was not fast enough. My APM was not on spot to
Did you
fully
actually
concede.
did you
know?
actually catch that he discarded angry chicken?
Yeah, I was like, I just burned an angry chicken. What's happening? Is he playing that with Avenge to just punish people?
It's one of the few cards that you'd probably rather him have it in his deck than burn it,
Yeah,
just so he
Yeah.
could draw it. It's
yeah. I was like,
It's like NA Dex Elegiga.
yeah. The reference doesn't get like old, and it's in every game, you know.
Yeah, in 2016 even.
Yeah, in Counter-Strike too, in Heroes of the Storm, I think too. I'm not sure, but I think too. I would say it, in Heroes of the Storm, it's too.
Look at those plays, man. You're missing out on those plays. Bam.
Ooh, bam, bam. Exactly.
perfect.
Actually,
This is
it could have been 5 damage, and he would still able to pull it off because the Molten Giant was discounted by the Emperor.
Oh yeah, because it would have been -1.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That was a
crazy
cool
game.
feature. I really like those replays. I don't know about you, Gara.
I like them. I'm enjoying him every time. And when the casters are talking, I'm like just looking at this amazing replay. I'm like, damn, son.
Okay.
Damn.
Damn! That's how you say it. Damn. Right. Someone's muted Gara. So it's what's the score?
That's 1-1.
It's
right?
1-1.
1-1.
Countered Zubi Frino.
Which camera's on? This one. 1-1 between MooDy and Powder. This is the first semi-final of PGL and Spring Tavern Tales, and now we'll be going into the game number 3 between those players. Powder needs to stick to the Reno Jackson Warlock, right? While MooDy has to switch, and he has a what is left?
I think did he have Druid? I think.
That was a Secret Paladin, right?
Yeah.
It's MooDy. Yes, he has a druid.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a druid. Since 2014, he plays druid.
Everyone plays Druid since 2014.
Yeah.
There we go. He did have Druid and Paladin.
Actually, since 2013, but that was like the really close beta.
Everyone played druid there as well. I don't know. I had no alpha key.
What?
Feels bad. Man. I couldn't get one. I didn't win one. I made.
I got the beta key from my friend for free.
Oh, I joined so many giveaways, man. I never won. Like, I think Crypt and Trump did some giveaways like 2 years ago, man, and never lucky.
And you sit here on the casting couch instead of playing. You can see that.
That's like downhill from there, man.
Yeah.
Downhill from there.
You won the first Bucharest. No one remembers that anyway.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Luck.
Yeah. Only luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Sometimes lucky.
Reynolds picked you up and he's like,
Yeah, he's
it's
like,
luck.
damn, this guy is on a like he's lucky right now. So right now, not bad, not bad.
I'm
Pick.
gonna sign him right now.
Yeah, right now. And then when he gets unlucky, then.
But
gotta go.
you got the hoodie right now.
Yeah, it's
so
pretty comfy, man. It's super comfy.
But that should tell you that you're not being cut from the team because you have the
No,
hoodie.
not cut.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was
Just
a
when I get
parting
unlucky.
gift.
Right now, I'm like still like in the. Nobody's sure.
Okay, let's go into the match. MooDy mulliganed his whole hand to get the innervates and wild growths, but he didn't hit on it. He has a half of an innervate in his hand though.
Yeah, how do you think this matchup actually goes with the druid versus this kind of Reno luck?
I think you're like heavily favored, but usually most people cut the shades completely, and I think like also against handlock, shade was like a really crucial card that really gets you ahead because
Yep.
you played early, and once it's out of the Hellfire range, it's like
Almost
your-
indestructible unless someone Shadow Flames the giant, right?
yeah, and it's your ultimate win condition. But Reno has like only one giant, so and you can play around it, the giant. Shadow Flame combo. So
Yeah,
but
there's definitely abilities though for like Power Overwhelming or Abusive Sergeant Shadow Flame to be able to just buff it up a little bit more. But yeah, it's definitely more difficult with only playing one giant now.
But also, as I said, against the patron, like Druid really relies on those like cheat plays with Innovate and Wild Growth to get the early damage in. It's mostly because of the damage. People usually end up like removing the stuff you innovated out, like a Shredder, whatever. But you did so much pressure with it that you finish your opponent with the combo.
Oh, look at that.
Suddenly the hand is amazing.
Yeah. Suddenly an innervate. Out of nowhere. Okay, so now we can plan. Do you want to play Druid with the Claw this turn? Just Azure Drake to... I mean, I don't know his deck. If he's playing Shades, there's some merit to just play the Azure Drake right now. Because it's out of range of like removal from Reno Jackson anyway. Right? You're not gaining anything from the spell power yet. Because there's no wrath in your hand, there's no threat on your opponent board, but you gain that claw draw. But on the other hand, you can also just play Druid of the Claw and bank on that high HP instead. But then your hand kind of sucks for the next 2 turns if you're not top decking anything relevant, right?
Yeah, it's definitely kind of rough. It's how afraid he really is. I mean, we can see it there with the Twilight Drake in hand. It's like how much he thinks that's realistically going to come out. So he's actually looking at
So
maybe
he
going for the
goes-
play where it's hold on to either the coin or the Innovate or both to get Dr. Boom really early.
So he goes for the play that Innervate next turn to get a 5-drop out, and then coin on turn 4 to get another 5-drop out, right? But is that better when you know that you have to be the aggressor in this matchup? So like the Azure Drake would have been awesome against every single minion that your opponent plays.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough one. It's like maybe he's just thinking he's going to go to the late game because until now he didn't see any of the combo pieces. So there's no chance of him just getting the quick pressure and then burst down.
I don't know, man.
It's a tough one though. He does have like BGH and Dr. Boom as well for that late game. So maybe he doesn't want to try and rush it too much because he didn't have like something like a Savage Roar or even like swipes or anything like that to push some extra damage.
No, it was very important to just make your hand as least awkward as possible. You cannot expect to like draw another Innovate or something like that. You really have to value your coin here. And right now, like he really wants to get the Dr. Boom out, but it's like I really just see the Druid of the Claw being like a great play here. Well, because you get another 5-drop out next turn and you draw like 2 cards.
Yeah, and the only thing with the Druid of the Claw as well is that if, the only thing it's really challenged by is the Gang Boss with the Power Overwhelming, but you're actually okay with that because then there's only one token spawned and the Power
Wait. Is the PO even in the deck?
I
In
think
the
it'll still
Reno
play.
Jackson?
It could still play one, just as a PO, right?
Yeah, but we haven't seen it, so maybe not.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
about it,
Yeah, it
because
might not play any.
probably would bank on a Abusive Sergeant more likely because you
Yeah,
play a
true.
Beacon Hunter, right? So you can combo that out.
But it doesn't matter. It contests the Gang Boss perfectly, and it protects your minions, and you have the Savage Roar in hand. So according to his hand, it was like the best play for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And
And oh,
like now you want to protect your board even more.
yes. So if you do that,
But yeah, coining out the Drake is just very juicy. Don't want to play power. Yeah, you have to draw.
well, Savage Roar translates now to 3 mana, 8 damage. Sounds okay. right? But you're facing a deck that is capable of just healing everything that you did by paying 6 mana
Yep.
and gaining a body on the board, right? So it's usually, if you would play against a deck that doesn't have that ability, you would just probably just go the Savage Roar, bang on the damage, because you don't need even the Force of Nature to do what you usually want to do with the Force of Nature, right? The problem is that the opponent also has sweepers in his deck. So if you just build up the board, overextend with the Azure Drake, then you're like leaving it to chance that your opponent has no way of dealing with that. I don't like trading, to be honest.
I don't know, like, this just resets the board on the same position where in Gang Boss doesn't really do anything against Druid of the Claw. He can play Azure Drake next turn, then coin into Boom the turn after. And like you said, there's the sweepers, and if he went all face, and then in a turn or so, like, just Reno just comes down, then it's going to be a real issue. Because he's just sort of burnt Savage Roar to force out a Reno, which isn't that bad for the Warlock.
I actually like it. I've seen so many people just overvaluing the Savage Roar. Like, it was a great place to utilize it as a removal card, and I think it was fine because he has a second Savage
So
Roar.
you'd rather go for the trade than for the face damage?
I would have,
because of the Reno Jackson looming in the hand, maybe.
I would have probably coined out the Azure Drake and cleared the Gang Boss and traded one Imp in to play around MC Tag. It was a strong board, and it can only be cleared with Shadow Flame. And yeah, you draw a card. He had the Shredder. It's nice play. But I understand why he did it. Like, he got very good value out of the Imps and good value out of the Savage Roar. Not so great value out of the Savage Roar, actually. But he got 6 damage to the face, which is always good. And he killed 4/7 Drake.
The problem is that MooDy is, like, when you...
It's
I'm
decent.
sure that Powder was watching his previous games, at least the last one, and he did see that MooDy is over trading almost every single time.
Yeah.
So he might also change his way of playing
But
just by playing sticky minions that require to trade. And
But
they're like,
as you can see here, he's actually like the play really led it into a perfect situation. He had like the Azure Drake now as a turn 5 play, and he had like 2 draws to find a 7. Like, he had the
draw.
Doctor Boom as
Yeah.
well for turn 6. Like, he fought 3 turns ahead, and it looks really great for him. I really like how he played it. Like, he's pushing damage. It's not like he's like now trading.
but he would have been pushing damage if he would just he would have just
But
innervate the Azure Drake or Droid of the Claw on turn 2, right? Because that translates to like 8 damage.
Yeah.
Right? So the
But
damage.
if he loses the board, he cannot push with Savage Roar, right? Because then he's ignoring the opponent's board.
Yep. Well, you need to do something about the Azure Drake or just play Rhiannon Jackson this turn. You can't really play, I think, the Emperor, right? Because if your opponent...
To be honest, at 6 mana, yeah, usually the Druid ramps up, right? But 6 mana, what can he do?
And you've
But
seen
he has
an
the
innovate.
coin.
But you've, you've seen
So
an
there's an
innovate as
option
well.
of swipe and Savage Roar, and that's 9, that's 12. How much damage is that?
No.
That's 4 and 9, 13 damage. It's exactly
Yeah.
lethal.
What do you mean, swipe Savage Roar? That's 8 mana.
It's 7 mana.
7 mana.
7
yeah,
mana.
Yeah, 7 mana.
He has the coin, so
Yeah,
that
he
would
could
have
do that.
been lethal.
Do you play around that?
Well, you saw one Savage Roar, and he was
Yeah.
trading instead of going face, so you might count... You might think that he's not
Having burst
having
damage.
the burst damage, right? Because he was trading with the Savage Roar instead of going face.
Yeah. And he doesn't want to play Reno before Molten. That feels so bad, man. Like, it's probably...
Yeah,
you
of course.
You have to, like, play greedy at that point. Like, when will he be able to play Molten ever after the Reno?
But you can win with other means. You are not banking this deck solely on the Molten Giant.
I think you need it, 100%. This is such a bad matchup. Like, I played it so many times. Like, that's also against mid-range Hunter and a lot of other decks. Like, you don't have a lot of big friends. I don't know. He didn't play Fugue and Starlock, right?
No, he
He
doesn't.
has
you know, he
very,
plays the
very
demons,
few
yeah.
threats, actual threats.
Okay,
I think-
I thought you said friends. I was like,
He has
He
very
has very
few-
few friends.
big friends even.
I think this play was okay with the Emperor because,
Yeah.
like, other than that one
Yeah.
combination of cards,
Second Savage
yeah,
Roar.
yeah, then you're feeling okay. Yeah, so I think this was okay, and it gains a lot. And now it's kind of paid off where the Doctor Boom's been played, and he's had to sort of ignore Emperor, which is kind of good. And now he can get a really good reader.
Ooh, that's a big friend.
That is
And
pretty
it will be
reasonable.
for 8 mana if you're not sacrificing your Emperor.
Man, that's...
Do you think you need to sacrifice Emperor?
It
Well,
depends
it
on the
depends
board,
on the
right?
board.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, true.
It all depends now where the bomb will hit. If it hits the Emperor, then you can't trade for Azure Drake. You want to hit it for face for 4 because you will heal anyway. And it goes in the wrong way. Oh my god.
Maybe you attack the boombot now. Like before Reno, just to soak up the damage. Might go face. Oh.
Okay, that's weird.
From the, I think Warlock just benefits the most from the Reno, like living from all classes.
Yeah, I think
Of
it's
course, because of the hero power, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is as well, like, if he'd left it on the board, it's still got 4 health, so it doesn't necessarily die to the Boombot. And then, well, Dr. Boom kind of has to deal with this 8-8 potentially, or the Reno, so if you left it open there, it would force the trade the other way, I think.
But now he has the BGH. It's like when one player has the BGH and the other player doesn't. They both play like a big minion. That's such a
But I'm
tempo swing.
still thinking about the play when he could have attacked with the Emperor to the bomb and then play the Reno Jackson and Molten Giant, right? Because the bomb could have hit face.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, first you look what the Boombot does, right? It hit the Emperor for 1, so then you can hit the other Boombot, you have a good chance. But first play the Molten, I think, just to split damage.
You want to split damage just because of the threat of the Big Game Hunter?
No, also that the Emperor survives, that you get value out of the Emperor. If it goes...
Because you have Mal'Ganis for 8 mana.
Yeah, that's
right?
great.
And you have a 6 mana clean board, right? With the Twisting Nether, that's also important.
Yeah, no, it's super...
Oh, look at that.
He could also just Twisting Nether. I would probably just Twisting Nether here.
You trade into the Shredder first?
Yeah.
Yep.
Clear all that garbage.
It's really interesting there where like there was no reason whatsoever for the Druid to really trade into Reno, because after seeing Reno you can then like turn on the aggression.
In some situations when Druid is holding like 4 cards, sometimes they just have like Wild Growth and Innovate pieces, like in Swipe, something like that, removals. But you just, then when he sees the Lord, then it's like it feels bad when he...
Well, you know that he doesn't have a swipe because he would have won the game.
Yeah.
But
he could have just drawn it last turn, 2 turns.
okay, yeah. He had 1 draw.
Yeah. Or Keeper. Keeper is also something to keep.
But in this situation, like, imagine if that Twisting Nether would have been for 6 mana and he could have built up the board afterwards, right?
I don't really understand, because now his Reno can die in the Boombot.
Oh, it didn't die though as the bot
Oh
hits
my god, that was close.
2 damage.
That was a close one, actually. A very close one.
I don't think he has the Boombot, like the Dark Bomb, but do you have to take the risk? I don't know. Maybe he thinks he has to take the risk at that point.
Angry chicken.
That was a shaky round. You could have, if you were planning to play the Peddler, you should have played it after the Hellfire, before the Big Game Hunter, because and before trading, because it could have been an example. What was that? 2/3 minion. No, it wouldn't change anything. No, never mind. It didn't change a thing.
I take it all back.
Yeah, I'm taking it back. Sometimes wrong.
Sometimes even casters are wrong.
Yeah, that happens really rarely.
But
Though.
if the Boombot would have killed the Reno,
It would have been horrible.
he would be and the Shredder would be like Zepomatic. But he had the Dark Bomb, so it was fine, I guess, from his perspective. He was thinking, okay, if something terrible comes out, I just have my Dark Bomb.
Yep, so MooDy knows that Powder's not running, the burst combo variant of this Warlock, so he's probably feeling okay, at least at the moment, on 24 health. Do you think you... okay, he's got the Druid of the Claw and Taunt, that's interesting. I didn't know whether... This is just going to soak up the board then. I didn't know if he wanted to Ancient of Law to try and push into these combo pieces a bit quicker.
But MooDy should know that he's not running the combo version, right?
Yeah, he just will know.
He watched the games.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he'll know, 100%. Because now this sort of just gives your opponent more time to develop more minions.
Could
Do you
also
actually just slam the Dread Infernal here?
Oh,
And Coil?
I see. I see what you did there. Yeah, and then MC tag. Just want to play stuff against Druid.
Yeah. Can't normally clear, like, especially like, wave after wave of minions as well. Like, they can maybe get 1 or 2 decent clears off, but they just can't keep it up. And this 6/6 is going to be a bit of a problem to deal with.
There's one problem though. You are getting really low and you have no more heals. Apart from Siphon Soul, right?
Yes.
Did he play Healbot? No.
Oh no, he played the healbot. He had the healbot last game, right? So he's still got
Yeah.
healbot.
Oh,
somewhere.
okay.
And,
But
and also
he doesn't have it in hand.
Yeah, and also he has Mal'Ganis, which although like not necessarily a heal,
And all taunts.
He has seen one big game hunter as well. So.
But he still has all taunts, right? He hasn't played a single taunt.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a Sunfury or an Argus this game.
Yeah.
And he still plays Draxus as well. So although it's a bit dicey versus Druid, he's sat on 16 anyway, so...
And enter freaking Mal'Ganis when BGH is out.
Yeah.
So you're trying to threaten your opponent by hero powering face instead of killing the 2-1? Because then he thinks, okay, he might just kill me next turn without anything on the board, right? So he would bank on playing minions. That's not something you want to do, like you want to see as a Druid player anyway. But this tells you that you don't have the combo for next turn anyway.
Yeah, I think the way he's going here is as well as that, he's actually trying to make the Dread Inferno trade into the 5/5 as opposed to the 3/3 and the 2/1. The Void Caller is pretty interesting. Is Void Caller... Oh, he's not just Void Caller Shadow Flame there, and then run the 3/3 in?
Shadow Flame is such a good card in this
It's
match.
very valuable against Druid in general.
Also, no, I don't like if he attacks with the Infernal and he kills the Mal'Ganis, the Infernal would go down, like still to like
Yeah.
6/3. So it's like a lot of value.
Well, those are cards you usually don't want to see.
But to be fair, like when you saw BGH being out, like how does a Druid kill this?
Combo. And you're sure that your opponent doesn't have the combo because he would have used the hero power less then, right?
Yeah, to sub-lethal.
Well,
So
it wouldn't have been lethal,
Yeah,
but there
it
was a
yeah,
chance
it was,
of
yeah,
lethal,
it signified that he could actually win the game with it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think what he can actually even draw into, with like the Wrath or something, because nothing else on the board in the hand, sorry, at the moment is looking too great. He's gonna play one of the Wild Growths and get.
Oh, look at that. Now he's just missing the coin.
Yeah, just missing that pesky coin.
Half of an innovate.
Well, he can still Force of Nature and Wrath just to kill off the Mal'Ganis.
Well, you have to do it, otherwise you're dead.
Yeah, it's just the 6/6 is still going to cause a huge issue here.
I
know
think
that-
that is way too soon. He
Yeah.
would have
Yes.
actually had a good chance to win this game, to be honest. Even
I'm quite not sure what would you concede here. Like it was still not. It
We-
still didn't end.
Especially as you've seen a Dart Bomb already.
Yeah.
We saw that. You're not expecting obviously the
Hellfire.
PO combos. You've seen the Hellfire, so
You've seen the
there's not
Dark
too many
Peddler,
more.
right?
Yeah, you've seen the Peddler. There's not too many more things that they could use to burst actually. So
that happened actually 2 series ago. Also with MooDy, you were casting that where he double innovate. Like he had plays and he like roped and ended his turn, didn't do anything, but he had like plenty of ways to
yeah,
actually still continue the game.
Okay, I'm really surprised by that because Hearthstone is a game which can be turned around in one turn, and I think Druid is one of those classes that can do that with the help of the combo, and he still had one Force of Nature in his deck. So
Yeah,
if
so
he
you could've
would
just
use
comboed
that
next
Force of
turn.
Nature this turn to clean up the big friend,
And
the
I think he
Mal'Ganis.
still had the Druid of the Claw as well, didn't he?
Also lore for heal. He had the second lore in hand for heal.
Yeah.
Like
So
if you-
basically use the heal to draw one more card. That's the translation
Yeah.
in this situation, right?
Well, plus as well, if you healed, then you don't. Would you die the following
no,
turn?
no,
Not
he
sure.
combos, clears, and then he has heal and
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, really interesting one. The Druid of the Claw looked really good early on to deal with the.
That
gang
was
boss.
an interesting turn, right? We talked about that a lot, and I still think he should have gone for that bomb, for the second bomb. Just leave out the Drake. Doesn't really matter. You have seen that your opponent doesn't have any wraps, doesn't have any swipes. He won't
Yeah.
capitalize on that spell power,
yeah, you
right?
just go for the odds and for the value. Like
Yeah.
Emperor surviving a turn. It's like the value is just it's insane.
Yeah.
per
It's the
turn,
second
like-
time, it's like you have 0 mana Dark Bomb,
Yeah.
6 mana Twisting Nether, and a 1 mana Dark Peddler, which is basically like a 2-drop which generates a 1-drop, so it's better than Shredder
Yeah.
because it's instant. But now we'll see it's 2-1 for Powder, and he is on the match point to advance to the finals of PGL Spring Tavern Tales.
Yeah, and he's probably feeling pretty confident as well because this Warlock's just been doing good for him today for a start, but also he has it was Patron, right? Yeah, because he played Patron versus Tice's Control Warrior.
Yep.
So he also has Patron as his backup deck against Secret Paladin. So Paladin's definitely feeling confident here.
Yeah,
And even versus this Paladin, he has Hellfire and Demon Wrath, which are pretty key early on just to sweep the board before the Mysterious Challenger comes out.
Yeah, and he just beat one of the hardest matchups as well, and now he has like a good matchup, so that's really like something.
I would think about keeping the Big Game Hunter in this matchup, because it's so easy with this deck to clean up the board before the Mysterious Challenger gets to the board, right? And then you can use the Big Game Hunter to just clean it up after the Avenge triggers, right?
Also the Molten, I think you always keep Molten against any aggro-ish deck.
I think he kept both sweepers. Oh,
And that is 3.
now he has 3.
That also speaks for keeping the Molten. Like Hellfire
Yeah.
auto keep, because then it means you will not kill the first minions till turn 4, you will drop low and then you can play the Molten.
That's the third time we see MooDy with a competitive spirit in his opening
Is he
hand,
going to play it?
and there were 2 occasions when the competitive spirit turn 1 would have been amazing, or at least very good. And this time, I feel it's like the worst one, worst of the occasions. So probably play
Yeah, I
it
think-
this time instead.
Yeah, yeah. He'll probably play it on the what time we think he shouldn't.
Yeah, this
Because
is like
because here you can actually just go something like Creeper, Juggler, and then
this is one of the
Creeper
occasions
and then Juggler
when
Comp Spirit and then
yeah.
trade and then have the minions.
this is one of the matchups where the competitive spirit turn 1 is actually, I think, bad. So, but when you play against the Druid, against the Zoo, it's, I think it's really awesome to just play it, bluff it, and get the advantage of having the competitive spirit at some point of the game, and instantly buff even one creature might make a huge difference.
Yeah. And now there's all of the 2 drops. So what do you actually like here? Because it always feels like whenever you knife Juggler on 2, it just gets dark bombed, no matter what. So
But it's a Reno Jackson Warlock. He has 1 Dark Bomb.
it still feels like they always have dark
Yeah,
bomb.
yeah, you have to think about what is like the... yeah, you're taking a risky approach and what is the gain?
Yeah.
The game would be like 2 damage. Is it worth it to get for 2 damage? Is it relevant? No.
Yeah, I think because he doesn't have like muster or anything like that to gain the extra juggles, and the follow up from there. I think mini bot's just okay. Maybe the creeper because he has Comp Spirit next turn, so then he can like trade the creeper into something, create more tokens, and then gain potentially more benefit from Comp Spirit.
And Juggler Master plays right into Hellfire. That's
Yeah.
usually very bad anyways. But the Creeper doesn't trade into anything, so Minibot is just by far the best. It also contests a Peddler. Peddler is like the number 1 card you expect.
Yeah.
Turn 1 you expect Zombie Chow, turn 2 Peddler.
But it's the card the Warlock wants, right? You know,
Yeah.
they want that Peddler on turn 2 just to get the 1 drop straight away.
And if he live taps, you expect like a Drake. And then it's good to play a Secret, because then it could be repetence if your opponent
Yeah.
is...
Well, the Avenge is always a nice anti-AoE card, because now if your opponent plans to do something about one of your minions that need, he buffs the mini board. And it's either having the Holy Shield, or it doesn't have it, right? After the oh my god, I can't even
You got this,
pronounce the
the Hellfire.
easiest words. The Hellfire. If he Hellfires this after like Knife Juggler, because that would be like his own out in his hand, then you get the Avenge on just a 2/2 minion, which is not bad. If it's a Dark Bomb, you still get the Avenge, but on a minion with the shield, so which is even more awesome. And if it's a Redemption, then your opponent doesn't want to do it anyway,
Yeah.
right? So I think this is the good turn when you actually think about playing the Redemption and the Knife Juggler, just to push your opponent into playing
The
removals,
Avenge and the Knife
right?
Juggler.
Okay, he went for the competitive spirit this time. Gara, please, input.
Yeah, he just expects a minion and that his bot will survive. And it's like the best turn for him to get value out of the competitive spirit with his hand for the foreseeable future. It's probably the only turn where he can buff 2 minions.
Okay.
Like, you just expect 100%, like 90% of the time a minion here. Live tap into a minion, like either Gang Boss or a Coin Drake. And so he was right, and he has like a strong board here. Sucks, like, this is the games you lose. You draw 3 secrets. The magical number is 4. I think I never won a game where I drew 4 secrets against any
That's an
control.
Unless you have
Interesting
Secret
statistics.
Keeper.
Even with Secret Keeper. It gets silenced or removed, and then it cannot win you the game. It's like you don't have card draw.
I think we have different opinions on that, because I feel like when Undertaker when
Yeah.
Secret Keeper is just being played in turn 1, especially in aggro mirror matches.
Yeah, I'm
maybe
not talking
mirror matches.
about aggro matches. I said against any control deck. If I
Oh,
drew
okay. Then I
four secret-
misunderstood.
Yeah.
Sorry
yeah,
for that.
I never won a game. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
impossible. Like
Let me think.
it's just impossible. Like he drew 3 already.
Yeah.
Like the chances that he now wins is like freaking 20 or 40%.
Yeah, you
Super
definitely
low.
need to be able to just do the old, mysterious challenger paladin curve,
Like
and just to put on enough pressure for them not to be able to deal with it. But it's definitely going to be rough now. As even like just the trade in Hellfire that does the
By
job
the
here.
way, look at that. What can happen now? If he pops the Haunted Creeper, you can use the Mind Control tech to get a 50-50 on a really big minion. If it's... Or... You can just use Hellfire. It's also good. Is it?
He could attack into the shield, then Hellfire, leave the tokens.
But the tokens will get the Avenge.
yeah, it's like it's just 2 1/1s. It's better to attack the shield for sure. Like if it busts the mini bot, oh yeah, that's the punish. I feel like.
So now he just.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
now we
so
just-
just
now he
take
wants
the
to
mini
be-
bot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, what?
Oh, okay.
It's a super punish.
So there are 2 outcomes that were really bad. One outcome that was okay
That
because
was-
you get the juggle too. If you get the knife juggle, you get the juggle because of it. So you have
Look
additional chances to kill the 1/1. So it was like super good.
He went for a 50-50, but was it worth it? Like he has the Hellfire, right? Like does he have to take the 50-50?
That was my initial question.
Yeah.
I think the problem is as well, like with that kind of risk, it can really pay off. But he doesn't have Reno in hand, and he doesn't have a heal bot in hand. So like if you look at the damage that's represented now, as well as another Blessing of Kings and into Avenge this turn.
Well, it's 2 of lethal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
just crazy.
But yeah, because it's turn 5, it's perfect to smoke because there's no Reno next turn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and you want to finish the game like next turn.
You can even finish it with Consecration
Oh my god.
if you play it. Because some people are not playing it at all.
And Hellfire doesn't help anymore. Like the only thing he can have is Shadow Flame, like
Yeah.
or something.
Nah, that's a very good decision. I like this. Really like this.
But Shadow Flame that's not even enough, right?
I think Shadow Flame. The secret's Avenge, right? So what does he need?
Yeah, Shadow Flame is not enough.
Oh yeah, it's not because you don't have enough minions to trade in the extra damage.
Wow.
Well,
that-
but you have Molten Giant in Shadow Flame, right?
oh yeah,
that's
yeah.
true. Yeah, yeah.
Or
Molten
he
Giant's
just
the
plays a
kind
Belcher Molten Giant. That might work as well.
Oh, he's checking Repentance first. Good
I think
call.
the Molten Giant Shadow Flames. I think that's really better because you can deal with the secret as well.
That's a good call.
I think actually the Belcher is safer. Now you die to any weapon. Or
Not Master of Battle, so only
Oh, yeah.
Corkhammer
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Trucifer
but-
Champion.
I think it gives the opponent more outs this way.
But if you play the
But
Belcher,
yeah, but I don't,
Oh!
yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah, because like he kills the Knife Juggler with the Drake, so he doesn't have the juggles, and he has the Belcher. Warrior, like Paladin usually doesn't run silence. It gives him just
I-
more outs to
I,
the
ha-
playtime.
I think every single Paladin we saw today was
We've
having
seen,
it
yeah,
like
we've
a
seen Secret
silence.
Paladins running Owl this whole weekend actually.
But it's one card, right?
But it's still less outs.
Yes, that's true. So if you would have played Belcher and the Molten Giant alongside
Yes,
it, right?
of course.
So
And you kill the Juggler.
you kill the Juggler, also pop the Divine Shield, right? With the 1/1 anyway. But you give the second Avenge.
Yeah, but you have Slime plus Belcher. It tanks the 2 minions. He has 2 minions on board.
So,
I guess-
but you die to Cockhammer anyway.
Yeah, that,
Because it kills
cleared
little
the
slime.
sludge.
So
That's
if he
true.
gets through Silver Champion, you die anyway too,
Yeah.
because it clears the first stage. The weapon
I guess
always
that's true.
clears the second stage of the Belcher, so you always go through with a minion.
Yeah, that makes sense. He would have just lost. But he basically, like, just playing greedy with the MC tag just basically lost him the game. Because he had the clear earlier with
Mhm.
like way more
Yeah.
life.
The Hellfire is such an MVP in this matchup,
Yeah.
and he didn't use it at all.
Especially
right?
because he had Molten, so he's
Yeah.
gaining like a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
secondary benefit from the Hellfire as well.
You go for those like coin flip plays when you're forced to do it, when it's your only play. But
Mhm.
he had like a really good remove with the Hellfire, and he got really screwed by that then with the Avenge RNG on the mini bot, and there's like no owl. And he got the Kings and SM Orc, and that's it.
And the Cockhammer to finish up the game.
There's just the extra little cherry.
On top, icing on the cake.
Yeah, that's what's better than a Cockhammer finish.
But now it's going to be the last game, which is going to be Powder's Patron Warrior versus the Secret Paladin of MooDy. So again, probably have to lean towards Patron being slightly favoured here. Don't know if you agree, Gara.
Garo said before that it's like
Yeah.
50-50 for him. I
Okay.
think that Patron is slightly favored, but only slightly.
Yeah.
Against Secret Paladin,
Yes.
I think it's good for it. Not
Yeah,
like
you just said 50-50.
what this matchup? Hell no, against Zoo.
Then what?
Against Zoo. Zoo and Patron is much closer, but not Secret Paladin. I think that's like a pretty good counter against
Okay.
Secret Paladin.
We've seen MooDy running 2 Cog Hammers. Have we seen even a True Silver out of MooDy yet? Or has he just gone for 2 Cog Hammers instead?
Oh, that's interesting.
So
I
I
don't-
know there's been people playing the list which would just remove the True Silver completely. Because the Divine Shield value for the mirrors and things like that. Gets a lot of value from
okay.
in the aggro matchups.
I really like the weapon though because it's so beautiful to just kill the Naja Drake.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true. How many of your Drakes are you really seeing then?
A lot. Every druid plays Naja Drakes nowadays.
Double Cockhammer.
Yeah, we were just talking about it for the past 2 minutes, Garo.
He likes cock.
Oh! He likes
Easy.
the hammer.
He likes
It's
cock
hammer
hammers.
time.
I just said he likes cockhammers. What do you want from me?
Nothing. He's a cog master. Right, Gara?
It's a cockmaster.
Yeah, you must know your stuff, right? To say those things.
That hand is terrible from the Patron Warrior. For now. And that hand is great from the Secret Paladin. For now.
You keep always Mr. Challenger if you're going for second, right?
Always?
Can play it. I feel like you always keep it because it's like an example when I play Hunter,
Yeah.
I always keep Seven Hyman against the Warrior when I'm going second.
You're talking about this matchup.
Yes, like when you play against Warrior,
Yeah.
you always keep the biggest threat in your hand if it's playable on before turn 7. Or Azure Drake, an example, because it filters out the deck, and you still put a threat on the board, even though it dies at Death's Bite.
And the thing is, in this matchup as well, it actually makes you it's pretty key to get the challenger out, try and get them out before patrons hit the board. And it gives you like a turn quicker potentially to get that challenger on the board. So, yeah, I agree though, Gar. I think this hand's pretty good.
Yeah, it's the Avenge into like against control decks, it's the best secret. Like if you have to draw a secret, then let me draw the
Oh,
Avenge.
do you really think there's a need to coin here?
God no.
Yeah, I was going to say, oh, sorry, it is MooDy.
Oh,
He's
it's-
just going to hover over all of the cards first. But yeah, sorry, yeah, it's just, it looked like he was going to coin mini, but I was like, I don't know what, are you going to turn to Owl? Like, what's the play? So, getting Avenge on the board early is not terrible. It's not like the worst opening you can have.
So this is a control warrior.
No, it's Patron.
Looks like a control warrior.
It does
for
look
now.
like a control
For
warrior,
now.
yeah. So yeah, a bit more defensive with it. I think it's like 2 Sludge Belchers and the Loatheb that we've seen from it previously, so... Definitely needs a weapon though, I think, for Powder.
Yeah, in theory he has the best answers for Patron Warrior. All those cards like Unstable Ghoul, Armor Smith, Death's Bite, Patrons. Like how do you kill 3 Patrons?
Yeah.
Equality Consecration, man. Everyone plays that in Secret Paladin. Oh, it's so funny though.
In Poland, maybe. It's Polish meta.
And we also have ketchup on this, on top of it. Because you use ketchup on everything in Poland.
On pizza.
Yeah,
And
we
pizza
also.
especially.
For me, it's normal. It's like people look at me. I'm crazy.
You're
like,
Bosnian.
We get. I'm Serbian, but we have pizza with ketchup on it, but we put extra ketchup on it.
Okay.
It's normal.
Yeah, I know, because it's a Polish thing too, but
Yeah,
it's
it's like-
horrible.
But there's ketchup on it already. Just put in more ketchup. Just because we have to, like, put more ketchup on it.
But it's different taste, because, you know, the initial one is natural, and the one you put
Yeah.
on it is artificial.
Yeah. More ketchup, man. It's a principle of ketchup.
This is a really rough turn 3 for Powder there.
Yeah, that's all.
Just armor up. It wasn't even like, oh, turn 2 armor up, fine. It's like turn 3's just has nothing. Would probably prefer the Acolyte or something there. He does have a good turn 4 and 5.
Coke Hammer looks great here. You kill the Armor Smith, you have a better mini bot than it was before because it gains taunt. It still has Divine Shield, so it's a perfect thing against the Warriors because they can't go through the first initial phase of the taunt. It's basically a better Neutron at this point. Awkward
I don't-
silence.
No,
I know
just wait and see what he does. I mean,
know
Moody
some-
likes to take his time.
some
Right?
pro players actually oftentimes ignore armor smiths and kill them later because they don't see it as a big threat. But I'm really like always, it doesn't matter what I play, I'm really like into killing armor smith as soon as possible.
Mhm.
I'm just too scared. Like if a taunt comes out, it just gets so much more heal over time and also enables battle rage and all that
I almost
stuff.
move behind the Belchers are like the wet dream, right?
Yeah, it's like the most cancerous thing in a control deck.
Proving the point that the word cancer can be used for any deck that people don't like.
It's just
Cancer meta.
Yeah.
The control meta. When everyone plays control decks
Priest.
and it takes 2 hours to complete a single game.
it's cancer.
But then when games go hyper aggro and it takes 4 turns, it's also
Uh,
cancer.
You
Yeah.
just probably drew the worst card in the deck. Competitive Spirit and Redemption are equally worse.
Well, like he can kill the Pilot Shredder right now. Just
Yeah, I think clearing off the
keep
shredder's not too bad here.
Man on your own mini bot, kill the Pilot Shredder. Hope your opponent will spawn a 3/2, 2/2, 1/2, 1/1 drop.
What was
Done.
that again, Lothar?
It's a lot of numbers that I'm pronouncing
2
wrongly.
health or 1 health minions.
Yeah.
The owl is fine. Yeah. It's like next turn you play competitive the challenger, and you want to have as many minions on board as possible for before the challenger. For the Avenger buff to split it. And
Mhm. Okay, that's a good point. That's a
And
good
you, yeah, always before the challenge, you just want to get as many minions. Also, like, if you would play a minion, I would not trade. I would just pass, just to not have the avenge, just to have like a highest possible chance to not have the avenge on my challenger.
Hmm.
Well, this is going to probably work in Moody's favour to a certain extent. If Power chooses to use the Despite and clear, it's going to use one Avenge, and then the Mysterious Challenger is going to pull the other Avenge straight out of the deck.
Yeah,
Which
It's
is
going to get
horrible.
double value there.
Yep.
but
But
he,
there are 2 executes.
yeah, he has to do it. That's
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not saying there was potentially a
Yeah.
better play,
yeah.
but it's just a bit rough that the Avenge the turn before the Challenger comes out.
The only good thing what he has going for him here is he has 32 life, which is awesome. Like usually you are in the same position, but you're at 15 or so.
Mm.
So, coin Mysterious Challenger, is it good? Like, the
Yeah.
only bad scenario is that your opponent has 2 executes.
I mean,
Yeah.
his gameplay right till now was I'm gonna play coin challenger on 5.
Does that also force the? Hang on. Could Avenge save the 1/1 from dying from the Whirlwind effect, or is it guaranteed to go on one of the other 2 buff minions? I think it can save the 1/1, right? Avenge. So he'll attack in the Whirlwind will go, but then Avenge will proc.
But that depends when the weapon was played, the Death Spite. It was played before the secrets, right?
Does that Ordrin work with interact with secrets as well? I'm not sure. I'm not going to try and pretend.
I think it actually works. So,
Because if the 1/1 just dies and that's it, this is really good. Because double execute, the Avenge goes on one of the 2 big minions,
mhm.
so they get even bigger, and then you just kill them
Yep.
both. So it's really huge. That's why it's quite important.
I think he has to inner rage first. If Avenge buffs the 1/1, he's like screwed.
But we are not sure if it actually buffs it, right?
Yeah,
We'll
but
get to
it-
know it.
It's 30%, but if it does, then
No, because the Whirlwind effect might kill it. That's what we were checking. Because can the Avenge save the
yes, of course.
token?
Yeah,
It does, right?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because look, the token doesn't die
Yeah,
properly. Yeah, I thought it did. Yeah, okay.
Now double execute will punish him severely. Well, do you even need to play the second one? Yeah, you do, right? You don't want to lose a Belcher to it.
You could play a ghoul. It contested, his weapon doesn't kill it, and it's very awkward. Like, how do you kill the ghoul with the competitive spirit?
Wait, was that second competitive spirit? No.
No.
First.
No. You can inner rage, it's probably better. Like, there's still more threats. Like, execute is good in this matchup, it's the best card. But
Well,
you-
there's also Brawl, right? No, wait, he's
No.
playing
No.
Patron, never mind.
I'm thinking actually back because he knew the opponent has still a coin, and you would expect a coin challenger that he would have played the lower tap instead, the Despite. I don't know if it was like too bad of a play, because like it's so strong also against Hunter when they play right into a coin Highman and then you
Mhm.
slam the lower tap, or against Druid, you know, when they want to coin out the 7-drop and then you play
Or the
lower tap.
Emperor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just wins you the game so often.
Yeah.
Do you guys like Redemption Belcher here? Oh, kill the 1/3 first.
Well, you have still a big minion out there, so why not? But the redemption, there's a problem that the redemption might just
Proc on the owl.
proc on the
Yeah.
owl, and you're like, well, I guess I used 1 mana to gain 1 mana.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing.
And your opponent saw two Avenges, and
No redemption.
no redemption. So he knows that this is redemption because it had to be in the hand.
What would Powder give for a patron instead of this sludge version?
Probably 2 more patrons. Yep. Well, it's still
it's
not bad. The,
extremely
the only thing that matters here very much is that what Gara pointed out too is the fact that the warrior is like, I have 28 health.
Yeah, still nowhere near lethal.
I can just wait.
And the paladin definitely runs out of juice. And even if there's because there's the execute still there, if he kills Tyrion, then everyone's like, oh, the Ashbringer's insane. It's 15 damage. If the warrior's on 30 health, then it
Mhm.
just doesn't matter, right? Like, it seems to be pretty okay. So, and Powder did a good job there of keeping track of the secrets, which is something we saw him slightly not quite play around properly versus Tice earlier.
Now it's very important to maintain the board control. Like I would really like here the keeper and trading
Yeah.
the sludge belcher here. You just saw like inner rage, like when the opponent's holding 3 cards. It could be easily like a battle rage as well, right? Not getting value out of it. You have board, there's no brawl in the
Especially
deck.
because you've got Tyrion next turn.
Well,
Like, why not? You're going to build up on that board and
Yeah.
make it extremely difficult for the warrior to deal with. And you've already seen one execute. So if you clear the board, the odds on him having like an effect to prop the Divine Shield after, and something to prop the the damage, and then the execute, well, you still have the weapon and the board. So yeah, I agree. I think this plays really good.
Yeah, it's completely different than in the Zoo game where he used like the keeper when the Void Caller was on board. Then
Yeah.
you really need it. But here you don't save it for like a potential Dr. Boom or Grammage. Here you really need it for the pressure.
Definitely when you're not this far ahead on
Yeah.
board.
Well, that's 1 turn too late.
Yeah.
You had the inner rage the turn before. So now you need a second inner
So-
rage or a second whirlwind or a death spite, which then needs 2 turns. That's kind of late.
So do you guys actually now like Blessing of Kings better than Secret Keeper and Noble Sack? Because you can Blessing of Kings the 1/1, kill off the Belch and use the weapon or the Owl, and
Well,
then keep
you know
pushing.
that your opponent's not running Brawl, so putting
Yeah.
more threats on board
Because
is
now,
not bad.
now, like, suddenly, with just Belcher, you just don't really need Tyrion because you have Blessing of Kings. Noble
Mhm.
Sacrifice will soak a weapon hit, so it's even more delayed damage and defends your minions even, like, heavier. And even the Secret Keeper getting, like, the buffed into a 2/3, like, you represent so much damage on board.
I understand both plays. I think both are just game-winning plays. I think it's just a different way to win the game.
Okay, he values the first stage of the
So
Belgian
double second winner will be the best draw here for sure.
Yep. Second whirlwind would be insane. No, that doesn't fit the mana curve. Because you can't really play execute if you bank on Acolyte, Whirlwind, Patron.
Yeah. And the problem is, if you do
Ooh.
anything else, the patrons just die.
Yeah.
And, that's just game, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he has to Acolyte and pass. It's his only chance and it will not end good. King's too strong.
Well, if he plays Kings on Tyrion,
All in
The value of the Divine Shield.
against that 1/3, potentially.
well, the 1/3 will get killed by the Keeper
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Uldaman, right?
Secret Paladin doing Secret Paladin things.
Let me think.
Well, he still needs the second Whirlwind. Like, without the second Whirlwind, this will be very bleak. And
I
that's
think-
not a Whirlwind.
I think it's too much damage.
What?
Wow, he actually did that, lol.
Yeah, I was joking.
I was
He heard, clearly.
Yeah, those
Is it
headphones are like not soundproof, man.
Is it purely because he just didn't want it to be insta-executed on his Blessing of Kings?
That's like the only way he can lose
Yeah.
the game right now.
I'm just trying to work out what was going on in
That's-
the mind of MooDy.
That's like a general rule overall. You don't buff the minion that is weak to silence. That's like similar thing.
Yeah.
That's like the weakest minion.
So how can the boombots potentially kill
Oh,
off
baby.
Dr. Boom?
Oh, the RNG, let's go. Oh, that was
Never
horrible.
lucky. I've never seen a
Sound is
10-10 Tyrion.
unfortunate. Well, that was it.
Yeah,
MooDy
crazy.
wins 3-2 against Powder. Unfortunately for Powder, it's the end of the journey. He finishes top 4 at PGL Spring Tavern Tales, while MooDy will have a chance to get the trophy. Right? Scoop in. We need MooDy here.
He looks pretty moody, even though he just won.
You can ask him some questions about his mood. Hi, MooDy. Again.
Hello again.
So how are you doing, man?
Better
Better.
than the last time, yeah.
Okay. Gara, any questions? Shoot.
You looked moody after you won. That's why I was wondering if you're like moody right now or you're happy,
I was just a bit stressed.
stressed. Yeah, it was pretty stressful situation for sure, and you had like a pretty bad matchup as well in the end, right?
Yes, I was a
So-
little bit unfavored.
So I'm happy for you, and you played well. You did good decisions, and I think Lothar wants to ask you some questions.
Yeah. No, Raven, do you have a question?
I'll wait for your questions because you might well cover them.
Why did you play the Blessing of Kings on the Tyrion?
Well, because I know Patron doesn't play Big Game Hunter, and he needs to, if he wants to execute, he needs to get rid of the Divine Shield first. So he should have something like Slam, Whirlwind, Execute, and it's really hard.
Okay. Well, that was only out anyway, so that
Yeah.
was all out
Yeah.
when we discussed
Yeah,
it,
we
right?
had like Whirlwind execute, and his only chance would be if you buff Tyrion and he gets a second Whirlwind.
Because then he slams
And-
Patron,
And
Whirlwind,
even
Whirlwind,
that,
Execute.
I have the weapon. So
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you had him at like, I think at that point he was at like 13 health after the attack or something, so quite low. But yeah, there you go. So definitely an interesting
Oh, the
one.
concede button. Oh. never mind.
We missed it.
Yeah, we missed the famous escape concede. But congratulations, MooDy.
thank you.
Now you have to play in the finals. Well, you don't have to, but you can.
I can.
You probably should.
Yeah,
I
you
see,
probably
right?
should. You have a shot at the champion's title, and you will be facing one of the next players in the next match. So I'm sure you want to watch it closely, see what decks are they using, especially that Tricky Style did use only one deck in his match, right? So you
Yes.
want to get some valuable informations about his other two decks, unless he again 3-0 someone with the Hunter, right? But that's about it. But congratulations again.
Thank you.
And it's good to see you performing here on your home turf. So wish you luck in the finals, right?
Thank you very much.
Okay, I think that's it. And we'll be preparing the next match. So we'll jump into a short commercial break before the second semi-final of PGL Spring Tavern Tales. Thank you, Gara, for being here on the casting couch. I hope I will never cast with you again.
Wow. I enjoyed it.
Oh, it's hard. Okay, Raven, we'll be right back, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for watching, and we'll be right back with the other semi-final of the tournament.